I said, Mackie, give me a hug. I'm really sad. And I was holding him and I was just crying. And he looked at me and he goes, I was like, you're mocking me. Then I felt like Steel Magnolias. Do you have any idea what I did to my body for you?
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. I'm so excited about today's special guest, Erin Andrews. You know, we want to focus today on parenting and the roller coaster ride it is. And sometimes it's getting to parenting that's the roller coaster. One moment is filled with highs and hopes and dreams, only to be let down with disappointment. And there's so many things that just make becoming a parent so difficult and so challenging for so many of us. Erin Andrews is somebody that I have admired for years. She's a broadcaster for the NFL. You've seen her on the sidelines at so many football games. And, you know, she talks a lot about miscarriages and infertility, going through IVF time after time again, and eventually having her son Mack through surrogacy. And I am really looking forward to talking to Erin about her journey and to find out what she loves most about motherhood. It's so great to talk to you. I feel like also being a mom in this world of social media where you're working, you're traveling, you're trying to do it all. And somehow you do figure out how to do most of it all, right? But what is the best part to you of being a mom to Mack?
Well, it's amazing you said all those things, because what I'm trying to work on with myself is not think how much of a failure I am. And I've heard from multiple women, this is going to happen forever. He just started saying mommy. Oh. It went from mama, mama, mama to mommy, mommy. And that gets me. Yeah. And I didn't think I would be such a softie, Dylan. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
I'm not a softie either.
Oh my
It takes
gosh.
a lot to make me cry. I'm not an emotional person. But when it comes to my kids, all of a sudden these different emotions just hit you every single day, everything they do.
He's really big into, like, he loves when he wakes up in the morning and after we get him all ready, he loves to run to the TV and he lays there like a slug, as they say in A Christmas Story. He lays there and he wants you to like tickle him. And then I do the hee and he starts laughing and he's like, mommy. And then I stop and then he points because he's like, do it again.
He knows. Yeah.
It's a crazy age at 2, but it's also really, really fun when people say they can react and interact with you.
I notice I get emotional when I think about, when Calvin was a little baby and I loved when he was that age, but like I love him at this age now. Like you think you're going to miss where they were before, but every day just gets better and better.
Yeah, it does. Although a lot of people said to me, when he hits 2, you're going to know. And holy cow, I did. Whoa, baby. And it just came like a tornado.
I noticed it's a defiance. You know, they're testing those boundaries. They're kind of pushing your limits. They're
looking at you when they do it.
They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah.
And for me, there have been times where Oliver needed to eat a green bean, right? And I don't really care that much if you eat this green bean. Sure. I don't really love green beans either. But I made the statement, you can't leave the table until you eat that green bean. Yeah. And now I have to stick to it because otherwise everybody says if you pull back, they're going to know that they could take advantage of you. I mean, so what kind of...
So I'm going to ask you the questions. Welcome to my podcast. What do? You said eat the green bean. Screaming ensues, and we're in our own home, so it's okay. What are we doing now? What if he is absolutely like, no, mom, I'm not having the green bean. Tell me what to do.
It's hard because I, again, don't care that much. He went to his room with the green bean in his mouth, kept his green bean in his mouth for an hour, and then eventually came down crying because he still had the green bean. And now it's just disgusting at this point. But I'm holding my ground. Like, I am not letting this go.
Yeah.
He did eventually eat the green bean, but I don't think it was worth it because I don't know what lesson he learned from it, except that I'm evil. Half the time, I don't really know if I'm doing the right thing in all these situations.
That makes me feel better because that's where I am right now. It's really trying with my husband, myself. We have help because I wouldn't be able to have, a job, multiple jobs without that. And I have found trying to let's all 3 figure out, 4, how we want to do this. How do we handle him? And then, I kind of came into a situation where I went away for 3 days to work and I came back and we changed some things. So then I got frustrated. I'm like, wait a second. We're changing.
These are the rules.
Yeah. And I've noticed, is this therapy? Am I going to lay on this couch?
It can be if you want it to be. I need help too.
I've noticed that my feelings about it is more like it's about myself. If am I handling this right? I know he's supposed to be acting like this because he's 2.
Right.
I just want to handle it the right way.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me there's no right way. So what are we doing here?
I don't know if there's a right way. And I find half the time, especially as things happen later in the day, like the whole brushing your teeth before bed.
Yeah.
That happens very late in the day when I've been up since 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And now I'm losing my patience. So I'm trying to balance all the load that I have every day from working all day, planning the meals, doing everything else around the house, and trying to be a calm mom in the evening. So I'm not snapping and I'm not yelling, but it's a tough balance.
How do you do it? What are you thinking to yourself when you feel like you're about to snap?
I try to take a breath. I try to just like, they'll see me take a breath where I'm like, guys, just make this easier for me.
Help me out here.
Like the problem is all 3 of them are like, they're wild together.
Yeah.
So then if one does something and then Calvin's the one who typically follows the rules, but he'll egg everyone else on to make them do the bad things that he doesn't want to do. And I mean, sometimes I just have to yell. Sometimes I have to say, God, like, I'm not going to yell right now because nobody wants to hear that, but like, let's go. Like there has to be some rules. I feel like there has to be some strictness so that they know who's in charge. Otherwise, I mean, little do they know they could walk all over me and I will let them do whatever they want. But at some point you have to take charge and be the one in control.
I feel like an absolute moron even complaining to you because you have 3 and I have 1.
It's all the same.
That's what everyone tells me when I say that to them. And then I found myself the other day complaining to one of my good girlfriends and she's like, yeah, my kid's leaving home next month. And I was like, then you have no control over your kids. You know, that's a lot to deal with. But I think the part I'm navigating, and you're a wonderful resource person to talk to, is just, look, I do believe that, listen, we should be able to have our jobs, be able to hold it down, be moms, be, you know, whatever we need to be in our home. But it's really, really hard. Yeah. Really hard. And thank God everybody else is that too.
I know. I think it's just hard for everybody.
Yeah.
I read an article, where you were quoted in it, were saying, you know, it's almost embarrassing sometimes to admit that you have a nanny.
Yeah, my baby nurse taught me that.
I mean, and it's wild because my oldest, we've had our nanny since he was 3 months old. Because I do work full time. Like you need, my parents don't live close. My mom's in Florida.
Same.
My brother's in Oregon. My other brother's in Florida. My in-laws are up in Boston. It's like it used to be where you lived in a community. You lived in a neighborhood where your family was close by and you had people that could watch your kids for you. Trust me, I would love to not have to pay somebody to help me watch my kids. But at the same time, I couldn't have the career I have. And I love my job. I've been doing it like half my life. I've been doing this job, you know? So,
and you should be able to.
And I want my kids to see me working hard and making the sacrifices, yet cooking dinner or doing what I can at home. But I do think there's nothing wrong with having a village to help you get it done.
Yeah, my baby nurse, shout out to Nanny Connie, love her so much. We had Mack after trying so hard, and then right away it was football season. It was time to go, and I was obviously being asked about having a baby and how do you do it and keep it all together. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
And Nanny Connie had said to me, it's okay to admit you have help because it's worse to paint this picture for people like I'm doing it all.
Yeah.
I can't do it all.
Right.
There's no
and nobody
way.
should think you are doing it all, because then it's unrealistic expectations for the mom who's sitting there struggling. Because we're all struggling. You will notice once Matt goes to school, though, your life there's just this guilt that comes off of you because it's like, he's at school. That's not my fault. If I have to work, you know, during the day, I mean, for me, working late is till like 2, 3 in the afternoon. It's like, they're still at school. So school helps a lot when it comes to mom guilt, I've noticed.
Good to hear. Except for my job is out of town, right?
Right.
So then I'm going to miss pickups when he is sick or, you know, a school play. Look what I do. This is what I'm already anticipating. Mel Robbins, where are you?
Always thinking about the next thing. Our brains are always at work. I'm so grateful to you because you've been so open and honest about your whole infertility journey, just your journey to get Mack into your lives, using a surrogate. Why did you want to make sure everybody knows the journey you were on?
Yeah, I think I was tired.
Yeah.
First of all, we had gone through IVF 9 times.
Mm.
I had lost 2 babies with my first surrogacy. It just was so much loss and no reward, and nothing was going right. And maybe I wouldn't say resentful. I just felt like nobody was public about how crappy that was. And I would go to these fertility clinics and the lobby's packed. Like it's standing room only. And you start thinking to yourself, okay, I'm not the only one dealing with this. This is really a problem. I remember I think it was probably my 9th retrieval, and I didn't get barely anything. And I remember like I could at this point put my legs in the stirrups, give myself the IV to go under, and roll myself into the room for the retrieval. I just knew the drill. I get it. I got to go pee before. I got it. Can't have a full bladder. Great. And then I remember hearing you're separated by a sheet, a lot of the times in these recovery rooms. And I remember hearing the nurse telling this girl who it sounded like her first retrieval, hey, you're going to wake up and there's small cramping, but don't do anything all day. And you could hear her like, kind of getting emotional. And then I heard the nurse leave and I was in the other room and I go, it's going to be okay. Like, this is the easiest part about it. You're probably going to get a ton of eggs. Like, it's going to be great. Enjoy being asleep for 20 minutes. It'll be the best sleep of your life.
Yeah.
And then I got approached by somebody to write an article. And I think we had just gotten bad news again for the 9th time. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write that this is really, really hard. And you don't hear about it very often. And my husband was like, okay, do we have to tell everybody everything? Like, can't we just keep this quiet? And it was one of the best things I ever did. The amount of support and even people that were just like, thank you for doing this and saying this. I mean, I've been fitted for ski boots at a place and a girl has been like, can I talk to you about surrogacy? I'm like, let me give you my girl's number that, works I mean, why not?
Yeah.
It is such a horrible emotional roller coaster until you get what you want out of it.
Right.
That it is such a lonely feeling, especially for the person. Yes, it's lonely for our partners, but it's worse for the person going through it because you feel like a failure.
Right. And on top of that, the roller coaster of emotions. I mean, the extreme happiness when you think this could be it. This is the time. Your hopes are so high, and then things go well until they don't.
Yeah, and we just dealt with that again. It's so crazy to be back here because the last time I co-hosted with Jenna, we were pregnant. Yeah, my journey to motherhood, it wasn't easy, but I realized the more I share, the more I'm able to help others out. And like, it was going so well that I like had told Jenna, I said, hey, I hope to be back soon because I got some good news. Like, I think her cat, one of the cats she had was even a name I was considering. Like, it was going that well. And my whole fear about doing it again after we had Mack was like, we just experienced this high. I don't want to come back down.
Right.
And we came down and it was so hard. And I'm proud of myself with how hard it was because the first time we suffered loss, like we had 2 miscarriages, I didn't allow myself to even deal. I was like, okay, I'm going to work. We're good. My husband was really good about grieving and I didn't. And then I saw some signs like a month later that I was not okay. And I just couldn't speak properly. I wasn't thinking right. One of my best friends is my manager and she was just like, you need to go talk to someone. Like, you're not okay. So this time around, I'm trying to be really, really good about just like letting it out because it sucks. And, we want to try again, but this is it for us. This is our last time we're going to be able to try. And I just don't want to deal with the loss again.
The emotional toll it takes. I mean, I remember when I had a miscarriage, the pain of it, just like going through the pain, but having to put a smile on your face because nobody wants to hear it.
Exactly.
I mean, how much do you talk about it? I don't know. And where do you talk about it? Who do you talk to?
Yeah.
And our jobs are weird because you push down your emotions and you put a smile on your face and you talk about the topic you need to talk about. It can't be good for our mental health. I don't know.
It can't be.
But it also gives you a chance to compartmentalize because otherwise you just want to sit in your grief and you can't get out. Like, I don't know how healthy it is, but I love coming to work, even when I'm going through some of the
I bet.
hardest things, because
Same.
this is my escape for a minute.
I've had to inject during halftime. I've had to come 2 days out of surgery, having my cervix removed. But I was like, there's no way in hell I'm missing this Packers
Right.
Cowboys game. Kind of thrive in those situations,
Yeah.
you know?
I remember when I came out with my secondary infertility. I had my first with no problem. And then my second, it was very hard to have. It turned out there was because of my C-section, my uterus
Yeah.
was half like scarred shut. Like there was a medical reason, which is why I decided to come out and just, if something doesn't seem right, talk to your doctor, find a doctor who's willing to do all the tests to figure out the situation and then take the steps forward that you need to.
Sure.
And there was a part of me worried that I would hear some backlash. You know, it's like, you already have one. How can you complain about, not having a second? Because there's some people who can't have one.
Sure.
What's it like for you, going through surrogacy a second time around when you have Mack at home? Do you approach it any differently?
I think that we knew it was stacked up against us. The very first time we did it, we thought, oh, we're putting 2 in. We'll at least get one. We lost them both. I mean, we went into it so naive. Then we have Mack and it's like, oh my God, thank God.
Yeah.
Then we did it again and we were kind of like, no. And then it was, as cruel as it is, it was going so well. I mean, at one point we even thought we were going to have twins. Our numbers were so high.
Wow. She
She was doing great. And then, the heartbeat was so amazing. And it was like, oh my God, this is happening. I'm going to miss the Christmas game. Like we're having this. We called our baby nurse, said, welcome back. And then it was nothing. It was so sudden. And so I think that was like, oh my gosh, how cruel can this get? Just say it didn't take, you know?
I know.
So that was really hard. This next one, hey, I mean, we're gonna do it again. But man, we've just reached like so many emotions, you know?
How do you do it? Do you pray? Do you how do you do it?
Superstition. We did a superstition this time around. It didn't really work, obviously. I think you do anything you can to like hope, pray. I mean, let your surrogate know you're here for them. Thank you so much for being an angel and helping us. That was something that we had never dealt with either, was a surrogate suffering such a loss. I mean, obviously we had the first time, but it was just so quick. This one was like, we had a minute, leaning on each other, leaning on your family. So yeah.
As a couple, how do you lean on each other?
Like I said, the first time around, we didn't really know what we were in for. This time it's like a lot of talking. I wasn't good at vocalizing being upset. I just watched my husband grieve. This time I was like, I'm not doing well. Like, I'm really upset. We were out to dinner the other day and we were kind of talking about it again. And my husband goes, that really sucked. I'm like, oh my God, that was awful.
Yeah.
Just trying to be really, really present with each other and talk about feelings and everything. Yeah.
I remember when I was going through loss, Calvin was 2.
Oh.
And there's also that moment where you have to step back and be like, I can't just be sad all the time, like because he looks up to you and you are just like the joy in Mack's life, right?
You can always find humor in a lot of things, right? Like I remember a couple of days after I decided, okay, I got to go work out. Like I can't be sitting in my feelings right now. I voice noted my girlfriends as I was driving to to Barry's or something, and Cry Me a River was on. And I was like, okay, switch, Tears in Heaven, come on. So I was like, you know what? This is ridiculous. Like, what about Dancing on the Ceiling or something? And then the other one was, we went into Mack's room, I think maybe it was like 2 nights after or something like that. And we were sitting around and we like to do family hug. When we put him down, let's do a family hug. And he puts his arms around his daddy and mommy. And I said, Mackie, give me a hug. I'm really sad. And I was holding him and I was just crying. And he looked at me and he goes, and I was like, you're mocking me. Then I felt like Steel Magnolias. Do you have any idea what I did to my body for you? So now that's Mack's thing. When he wants to make me laugh, he goes,
Isn't it amazing watching them
insane
figure out these little jokes, these little like inside things? It's all an experiment.
Yeah.
And it's all they want is your laugh and your smile. And they just want to do everything to make you feel better.
Yes. But throwing the fork across the room does not make me feel better. And then looking at me and throwing
then you have
the
that age to
tin
deal with.
like sippy cup. I'm like, are you okay?
The throwing things, bringing a toddler out to a restaurant.
How about the one where the 15-month-old is sitting there across the way and my 2-year-old sitting there and the 15-month-old is looking and just being so good and then mine throws the fork at her.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, we don't even know these people.
I also feel like one's a boy, one's a girl.
Hell yeah.
Like girls are,
That was a
mean,
girl.
I wouldn't know how to raise a girl at this point because I only have boys, but I feel like boys test a little bit. Like boys are more difficult now. And I hear girls get more difficult later.
Makes
but
sense.
I honestly
was
don't know.
difficult. Yeah. Big time.
How do you manage being in the public eye? You know, especially on social media. I love when funny things happen. Like yesterday, I don't know why my 3-year-old is watching Rocky, but Rocky was on and he's like, I've got like this video of him like just punching through the living room. He's kicking, he's punching, he's in his own little world.
Sure.
Watches the scene, goes back to punching. And it's just the cutest thing. And a part of me has to hold myself back from posting it because I'm like, I can't put everything my kid does out there. But some of it's, I don't know, some of it I want to show off. It's really cute and I love it so much. But how do you manage that?
Yeah, I mean, I think you know what you're up against. Everybody
Mm-hmm.
has an opinion. So is it worth it? Probably not. I mean, I think I posted a picture of my son on ice skates. He wasn't skating yet, but we have him walking on the carpet. His dad's a former NHL player.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just what they do, what he did when he was that age to strengthen his ankles.
Mm-hmm.
Were there naysayers? Absolutely. I don't care. But I'm pretty cautious right now of what I'm posting, but also know, and you know this better than anyone, people just have an opinion.
Yeah. Do you ever listen to any advice or anything that's given to you on social media?
Not social media, but all I'm doing is whenever I see a mom, especially a boy mom, what am I doing here? What do I do? Does this get better? I mean, I feel like we've kind of been with friends and that are older and have older kids and just like, hey, do you have any tips?
Yeah.
How does this not affect my relationship? How does this make my relationship better? How am I always going to feel this crappy when I leave town? So yeah. And then this is what we signed up for. This is what I injected myself for 8 million times.
Right. There is something to be said about you being so open and honest about everything because there are so many people out there who are taking solace in knowing they're not alone. And I think it's underestimated how much it helps to go through anything you're going through, to know that you're not doing it alone.
Yeah. I kind of, when I was diagnosed with cervical cancer and I went through 2 surgeries during a football season, during the year I was hosting Dancing with the Stars, I did keep it quiet. I didn't say anything. Some of my crew members knew on Fox. Nobody from Dancing with the Stars knew. My family, my team, all that knew. And then afterwards, it was crazy because I had a female writer from Sports Illustrated. We had this Super Bowl that year. It was my second Super Bowl. She just said, I'd love to sit and talk to you about how your year went. And I was like, okay, well, let me tell you this. So she wrote the story. She had no idea what she was getting. I knew the next day it was hitting, it was going live. I didn't anticipate the reaction it got. It then turned into 1 in how many women get cervical cancer, 1 in how many women die of cervical cancer. You shouldn't be dying of cervical cancer. It's treatable. These are the signs. I mean, you looked at every morning show and it was up. It was a ton of articles and then it became cervical cancer awareness. So I sat back and I was like, wow, I did some good kind of sharing that information. Then I work with mostly men. I was getting text messages from Robert Kraft, the owner of the New England Patriots, head coaches. I went to go work the Super Bowl. Players were stopping me on the sidelines saying, thank you. After that, I decided to be open about our infertility and how much we had gone through stuff and our loss. Because again, I think I was just tired and I was over the whole situation. And then obviously what we heard after I was public was great. And I'm laughing because my friend and also my publicist is sitting here and I called her one day, or I think somebody that heard my podcast before it went live said, Erin just talked about her miscarriage on the podcast. And she's like, all right, hold on. But it was like, might as well spit this up while we're at it, But just, it's just like, I kind of made a promise to myself that like, I just want to be real with people because a lot of people are going through stuff, And
it's also exhausting to put the wall up all the time.
Oh my God.
Like, everything's great. Everything's good. No problems here, And it's like, I think the same goes for parenting too. There is this stigma where you do need to be the perfect parent and be the perfect everything, but it's just not realistic.
Yeah, thank you for saying that.
What are you excited for going forward?
I'm going through something right now. I was just talking to my girlfriends about it, where I can't watch a movie the same because I'm so afraid of like my kid. You know what I mean? You can't read or watch some of the things you could when you didn't have a kid. And my friends warned me about that. I need to get over that part. Like, let this kid have wings and fly. No, I'm excited to see how school goes. I can't wait till he starts up sports. I can't wait for him. He has a weird grasp on the fact his dad played hockey. Now he thinks his dad he sees NBA highlights. Dad, no, your dad didn't play NBA. He sees NFL and he says, Mama. But every hockey thing is dad. We're like, no, your dad is not Alex Ovechkin, but that's okay. I'm excited to see how what he thinks of our careers and what we're doing. That'll be pretty cool. Yeah.
And I promise 2s can be tough, but 3s
is
and
worse.
4s. No, it's different.
Okay.
But it does get easier in a different way.
Okay.
The exhaustion of like picking things up off the floor or watching him throw this over, like that does go away. You are in for so many wonderful blessings and it's so incredible.
I can't wait.
I'm excited for you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. It was such a pleasure to talk to you.
Right
and
on.
Just keep crushing it.
You make this so easy. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm just so appreciative of Erin just giving us such a revealing conversation, a revealing side to all the ups and downs and some of the heartaches that she's been through over the years. And just talking to her about those things brings back that flood of emotions that I felt when I was going through the same thing, especially when I tried for so long to have Oliver, our second child. And, it's just, for what it's worth, it does get better to sometimes stop and think back to how I became a parent. I was a different person back then. It's really hard sometimes to get that family that you have in your mind. But whatever God has planned for you, whatever that family is, whatever that family looks like to you, it's exactly what it's meant to be. So go through the process, listen to others who maybe are going through the same thing, take advice when you can hear that advice, share your story with others because your story could be an inspiration and the help somebody else needs. So I'm just so grateful for Erin for having that conversation with us today. So be sure to like or subscribe. You can follow me, Dylan Dreyer, NBC on Instagram, and of course, Today Parents for more content. Bye-bye.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.